We're talking tonight, or we're going to talk tonight, it's an open forum, about meetings and demonstrations. Tonight, we're blessed with Bob Moffett giving us a demonstration on birdhouses. We'll go to Bob in a little while and get that on board. He's just coming back in from John C. Campbell and some classes up there. I'd like to know more about that. You may want to know more about John C. Campbell, and we'll get that from Bob. But we want to talk about what you want for demonstrations, what you can do, and what we can do as a club. Remember, we have the whole world working on this. I mean, Martin Clarkson's from Europe, from Great Britain. Pardon me, Martin. Is David here from Australia tonight?
Donald?
Donald?
Let's see. Yeah, he's on. Hey, Donald.
Hey, Donald. We have Canada involved here. We have a lot of folks involved in this program, but we want to know, where do you want the Dan, you came up this a couple of weeks ago. Where can we go?
Well, I was wondering what the group as a whole, what kind of demonstrations that the masses would like to see. You know, what interest out there for the folks that are tuning in, that are, you know, whether they're new or experienced, i.e. with the experienced turners putting on a demonstration for something, and or what is the interest, within the group of learning something new.
I'm going to go along with you with that train of thought. Do I want to see art, or do I want to see technique? Do I want to be taught how to turn or what to turn? Those are all different levels of turning. And turners, this is an open forum. Jump in whenever you want. Press the space bar and get in. Doesn't matter who's on the screen. We're going to hear you and talk to you, because we have to do this. I've been invited to several organizations and went where it was confusing as to what their end goal was. And I'm always upset about this. It pains me as, do we want to teach art? Think about that for a minute. Can you teach art? I really don't believe you can. I think you can teach techniques to get there. Pardon?
Yes.
I'd like to see a little.
So Casey chimed in and he said he's interested in technique. Is there any specific techniques that you're looking to learn or see, Casey?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We don't have an image.
No, I don't have an image.
Okay, go ahead.
I would just say, just techniques. I agree with you. I think art is more something that you grow into and learn and start to deviate towards. You may not even know where you're going and where you end up, but I think technique is the basis for everything. And sharpening, things like sharpening, cutting angles. I feel like working alone in my shop, I've developed a lot of bad habits without realizing it.
Yeah, and we fall into the YouTube trap.
Yeah.
And it is that. You can see somebody do something and say, wow, look at what but what you don't see is the end result, what he ended up with. And really, why did he do that to get there? So I'm going to go right along with you, Casey. If I can show you how to use a tool properly, make a better slice or a better cut, as we talked about earlier, to go in on a vertical with a fingernail gouge, roll it on into the cut and do a slice. That's Mark Soleil's technique, wood slicing. And we kind of got an agreement here. It's a technique that will work for a majority of these tools. It will. We'll talk about the ball end mill, Casey. It is a drill bit. Primary use is machining. We're going to put it in a bar. We have a technique shown on our website how to do this. And we put it in a bar and we go in and we do slices. But if we go on a bar with it almost vertical and roll it over a little bit, Dean Grimes has got a video on it. he was cutting end grain material and had ribbons coming out of end grain material. So to me, that's impressive. And I want to build one of those with the idea that that can be my go-to Halloween tool for pretty much everything. Ronnie Bonnet made one, and I think he's getting ready to make another.
I think that I agree. Technique is really where we all need to start. And then you can move into the artistic after you have the technique and the how-tos, just like the ball in them. I've got something that probably about a 5-minute discussion tonight, maybe, on some of what I have done, modifications to make the tool easier for me to use. So, but that's why I'm here, to learn how to better improve my ability to make things.
I agree. And tool building is an important part of what we do. I don't have anything against anybody that sells and makes tools. I mean, my company does that. What I have a problem is when somebody says, you need to go buy Bob's to get this done. I knew a very, very great turner, Doc Lejeune. Doc passed on just recently at 95 years old. When Doc was in his 90s, he was still hollowing on a shopsmith lathe using a sharpened crowbar for his hollowing tool. Sharpened crowbar.
Try that.
Now, Doc is of the family that built the Ochsner Center that's worldwide here. Nothing could hold him back, but he found a tool iron from a Model T or whatever and sharpened into a hollowing tool. Creative. We can do that. You talk about making those tools, the ball mill end tools and scrapers and everything else. It's all possible. Now, we had a couple other ones on here. Gary Hoffman says, we never do enough on sharpening. I want to agree with that, Gary. I don't think we do enough on sharpening. I'm looking for somebody that one of our team members really, who can step up to the lathe and show us, and it can be a one-on-one camera shot. Trey has done this. Trey showed us one night how to do a 40-40 grind. And just a couple of weeks ago, somebody else showed us how to rework a gouge, a scraper. If you can, I want you to go to the basics and show us how to sharpen all the tools, not all at one time. Remember, we have to capture this, absorb it, and go put it into use. So if we had a guy say, or 2 guys, or 3 guys, or 5 guys say, I want to sharpen a fingernail gouge for you next week and show you how to put this almost imperceivable bevel on it. Wouldn't that be a great demo?
Sure, absolutely.
Same thing with a scraper. How many people sharpen a scraper wrong? They're looking for the wrong thing coming out of a scraper. And we have another one. Brenda wants to know about homemade jigs. There you go. Brenda, how do we make a Band-Aid in the last second?
Paper towel and duct tape.
Paper towel and duct tape. That's right.
Change that around.
Once it starts bleeding, once it stops,
Paying attention.
the super glue.
Yeah, if it's a little one, super glue. It's a big one, we need duct tape and the paper towel. Doug Smith wants to show dancing at the lathe. Doug, that's a good one. That really is a good one.
You'll have to get First Sergeant to do that one.
I don't know. After we
don't wear a tutu.
Right.
Your eyes can only take so much.
I don't think Doug's here to defend himself.
Oh, there's no defending.
We can talk about him all we want.
There's no defending. He put a freaking bikini on. That's all I can say is he put on a bikini.
There's no defense to that, is there, Captain?
No,
Well,
There
he's
is
put
not.
up threats too, so.
he's earned whatever he gets.
Yeah.
I
He's
just
got a
heard
picture. I'm going
So
to jump
here's-
off course here. He's got a photograph on Facebook of him and his son out fishing. I want you to notice one thing: the glare off the front of his head. Ronnie
So-
hadn't said anything about it, but Ronnie saw it. Ronnie, oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Homemade jigs came up. Gordon from Elmo Wood Turner says vacuum system for holding on a lathe. What makes up a good system? That's a good one, Gordon. That really is. Anybody, any of the fans of vacuum systems, jump on board. Come on.
Yeah, I don't have one.
A
Nice
lot
thing
of,
about
Got a
vacuum
20-inch
systems-
Never
fan
used
and
one.
dust broom.
The nice thing about vacuum systems is you can spend as much or as little as you want. I mean, you can do it really fairly cheap, or you can spend a lot of money on it. Just depends on what you want to do.
that's right. Honestly, with a pair of Venturis and a right plumbing, you can put one together, pull it through almost any tailstock in the market today, as long as it's got a hole in it. But there are some versions of vacuum chucks that will fit on the spindle without having a hole, without passing through the spindle. They'll pass through its own port to pull things onto it. There's a company that makes one that's a pair of Venturis in a little control box. I bought one at the AAW thing 15 years ago. I have several others. I love them. Number one, Gordon recommended we talk about it. One beauty of that is it doesn't, if you do it right, it doesn't mark up the bowl on a flip flop. I mean, who had that? Doug Moore had that bowl up. He's got to turn around and take the tenor off. How are you going to hold it, Doug?
Talk
Doug
about
is-
my natural
Yeah,
edge.
Doug Miller. Yes, sir.
When I take the tenon off, I am going to put it on a jam chuck, and then I'm going to use Phil Anderson's method and just whittle the tenon out from under the tailstock.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a good
That's
way to
what I
go
would
about
do.
it. I've got a series of faceplates with different size grooves in for vacuum chucks that use PVC pipe with banding on it. And I put it's a good demo to show. I put the curve on it, put the rubber tubing on it from the hardware store, and I can slip one off, one on it to go from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. When you get big, it gets expensive because those hubs are expensive. But you can do that with one Venturi rig or one vacuum rig. And the vacuum pump from Harbor Freight is awesome for that. And remember, you're talking ounces when you're talking vacuum, not pounds. All right. Neil Max says he'd love to see about vacuum systems. I'm going to jump up to Dave Rhodes, our webmaster. He says, when to use what finish? Dave, what do you expand on that?
Well, I'm thinking that I hear a lot about using 3408. I was just thinking that one of my big problems with doing anything, I might turn it, it may look reasonable, and then I'll screw it up putting some finish on. And I'm assuming certain things are food safe, other things aren't food safe. And I really don't have a lot of variation on what I use. And I'm thinking, I'd like to have some variations available to me. I don't know when I want to use tongue oil. I don't know when I want to use, whatever.
Yeah, Dane showed that piece tonight that he says he's going to stack on more tongue oil for a finish.
Exactly.
And then on the rolling pin, he used 3408, which
Correct.
folks, that's Parfix 3408, and we have that information on our website. Yeah, you're right. What do you use? Maybe more what can you use rather than what should you use?
Very good. Yeah.
Because some folks just can't be around some products. I know turners that can't be around that much CA to put it on the finish. And I know other folks that can't fool with lacquer and tongue oils and some of the other natural oils because of allergic reactions or tender skin. We all should keep that in mind. Whatever we do, if we have a reaction to it, it's doing harm to us. That's the warning sign.
Yep.
So I was talking to somebody that was working on Paduke this week. They did a bowl that was Paduke and something else. And we're chatting on the phone, and he said, well, my cuticles are tender. I guess I got something on them. Paduke. That's what you got. You look at this, there's a bunch of websites tell you the hazard characteristics of different woods. Look it up, see what you're turning, see what it can do for you. And then you know the warning signs.
Yeah, the wood database is your friend to find out the toxicity and what to look for on various reactions to wood. Everybody's going to react differently.
Yeah, but things like Jeff said earlier about the Coca-Cola, I had no idea that I had to be careful with that. So even
Well, again,
that sort of thing would be really
Sure.
helpful to know.
You know, but it's odd. You know, it's the odd thing, like with Coca-Cola, you hear a lot about the toxicity of it. But think about this: it's got the same toxicity as cedar, and we turn around and we cook fish on cedar over the barbecue grill.
You just ruined my evening. I don't mean that. I'm kidding.
No, but you hear it a lot about, you know, some people have reactions to it. You know, some people have reactions to hemlock, others don't, you know, even though it's a poison, you know, in the poison ivy family.
Right.
I'm not allergic to poison ivy. Would I go turn it? Highly unlikely.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, pick your game, what you want to play.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on with these ideas about demonstrations. And folks, this is not just the BS session. We're doing this so we can initiate some thought on your part. You've got we get a lot of ideas here. I want to see a result. So it's important that we do. Sir.
Yeah, this is Ray Worthley. I'm on the phone, so you can't see me. I have two things. You did something just a few minutes ago, like 3408 finish or something. That's the kind of thing that bothers me because I don't have any idea what that is. Is that a brand name or a
it's a
brand of
it's a brand of super glue.
Oh, okay. So that's but my point is, yeah, my point is that using those acronyms and whatnot confuses me because I can't keep up with you, I guess. That's one of the things I wanted to mention. The other thing is I have a very different problem in that I'm visually impaired. And a lot of these demos, they kind of flip through them real quick instead of showing the tool long enough and close enough that kind of, so my two ideas are to not use acronyms and to spend a little more time consideration for people who don't see very well or very quickly.
All right, on step number 2, we can work on that on demonstrations. On item number 1, whenever we get the technical information on that and the person that demonstrates it will produce an article for our newsletter, it will be in our newsletter. And that's probably where you're going to find that 3408 stuff. Our webmaster is with us right now, and he shares everything he gets. And I love that part is there's no sacred cows.
A lot of that goes in chat too.
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie.
Sir, ma'am.
I like the fact that we're live and being able to do this live and ask questions as you go through. If there's ever any acronym that you don't understand, anybody, please, just feel free to ask.
Yes. Yeah, that's
right in the middle of
verification.
We don't turn off the microphones.
Right.
We do, essentially we do. But what it takes is to ask the question. We just have to turn off the microphone so I don't listen to Jeopardy playing in the background. But you're right. If there's something that comes up in one of our demonstrations or a presentation, or even if you see it on our website on a video, you can ask a question. Feel free to ask a question. We want you to, because what it means is we missed something. My feelings don't get hurt if you tell me I screwed up. I
Right.
don't like it. I don't like it anymore, but my feelings don't get hurt.
Well, one thing about that, Captain, if anybody on the call or in the meeting has a question, the chances of you being the only one that has that question are slim to none.
I agree.
True.
I agree.
And that's one reason that I have not hesitated in the past to ask what I consider a dumb question. Because there's probably somebody else that wants to know that same thing, but maybe too shy or whatever to ask.
Well, that, you know, and we always thought of you as being a wallflower, but it's, we here, I mean, look at the folks we have involved. All these people, volunteers, we don't pay anybody anything, and that's on purpose. Because we don't want to marry anybody, we want to date everybody. And that's the thing, if we can cover it, renew it, review it. The Parafix thing, we talked about the 3408. That's why I explained earlier, it's Parafix 3408, the information's on our website, because folks that are just joining us, we have what, 80, 90 people in here tonight. They may not know about the joking and the kidding and the Band-Aid Brigade and the Wig Stand Warriors and all this stuff. It is just a gang of people sitting on the tailgate of the truck out in the parking lot, and we're talking, we're turning. And if you got something to ask or something to say, hey, you know, that's all it takes.
Just chime in.
That's why we built this.
Yep.
Exactly where this program came from.
And that's why we're
And we're
having this discussion now, you know, is to find out where everybody, you know, for the masses out there, where you lie at on what you're wanting to see, learn what we're missing, what we can do better at.
Yeah, I mean, here's one here I'd like to see more on casting. James, that's awesome. That's awesome. We've got, I'm going to be, get in here and say something wrong. I know we have two great casters on our team, two great ones, Holbarn and Kim Tippin. And there may be others, but between those two, we got it covered.
Yep. Billy Burt too.
Billy Burt, I forgot about Billy, man. Yeah, and these folks do serious work with casting. I agree. Thank you, James. We'll do more on that. Don Roselle says a large topic is finishing, small pieces, how to hold them, finishing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm looking for all of our turning demonstrators to give us more on finishes. I'll put this, 20 years ago, doing a demonstration at a club, a guy said, you know what, I want to skip the sanding and go on to this piece. And a guy sitting right next to me, I didn't stir the pot, guy sitting right next to me said, why? Sanding's not important? And he was absolutely correct. Sanding or whatever, he was absolutely correct. Sanding, as dumb as it seems, can be the lifesaver. You can go from trash to treasure, sanding. And if you don't understand that, you're not doing good woodwork. Or if you think I can start sanding at 400 or something. Not a lot of people can do that. And if they can, they're not sharing with us. Jim Selby says he's on medication right now because his arm was swelled up because of turning a lacewood pen. Lacewood. How to cut with a chainsaw. And Dan said, how you do a web search for Parfix 3408? I think we have it under products. Go, Ronnie.
You're not going to find it as a web search. It's not. Parfix 3408 is not sold retail. Mark Soleil, one of our members, is the go-to guy to purchase 3408 and all of the various Parfix brands.
Dave, is Mark's contact information on our website?
No, it actually isn't, because I'm afraid to put anybody's phone number up, and Mark likes to be contacted by phone. If Mark gives me permission, I'll put his phone number on the website.
All right.
It's on
Yes,
Etsy.
sir.
It's on
Say-
Etsy. I just looked it up.
You just looked it up, Jim?
Yeah, I looked it up on the web, on Google, and it comes up Parfex 3408 Amazing Sealer and Finish, 2 8-ounce size on Etsy.
Okay.
Oh, right,
so
he
that-
does have an Etsy shop. That's true.
all right. Yes, sir.
I'm sitting back listening to the questions that are being asked and what's coming up. I think we all know we have covered all of these subjects, but I think what's coming up now is people might have missed those shows or those meetings as we covered that. What I think what might be a good idea is go back to basics every so often and recover those same subjects or whatever for either new people or people that didn't catch that portion of our meeting. The gentleman with the Parfex is Parfex 3408, and if you go to our website, our webmaster has a special section there that gives you all the information, and it leads you right to Mark Soleil's video of how to use it, when to use it, and any questions there. As far as people reaching out, that's all they have to do is come forth and tell us an idea what you want to hear about. There was a gentleman last week that wanted to know more about stave turning. I gave him my name, I gave him my number. He called me the next day, and I put him on to a friend of mine, and I think he was well satisfied. So anybody that needs help on any subject, that's all you have to do is come forth and tell us what you want to know about. And there are an exceptional number of very good turners in this group. So I'm sure anybody in this group could solve your question. If for some reason we don't know, or we run into a brick wall, that's what we're here for. We're gonna stop and find out for you, and we'll give you the answer. So just come forth, and like they say, and y'all have said it tonight, there is no dumb question, so just let us know what you want to know.
Somebody's got a TV
Let me
on.
point out that we just got something from Kurt Capps, that Capps Creation also has the Parfex CA glue, and we ought to give him equal comment along with Mark Soleil, which is on the very next line of the chat.
That's the beauty. It's if you have something to share, where do you put it? Right there on the chat.
And I'll make sure that
if you go
Kurt
back,
Capps is also referenced on our website. I'm pretty sure he already is, but I'll make sure that's there.
if you go back into our meetings, Eddie and I got together, and he came over, and we videoed the spotlight on that Parfex 3408, showing you how to use it. So it's a very simple product to use. It's a very good product to use.
I'm working on a program, a video right now about using regular thin CA. What I say regular is not the Parfex medical grade CA, but using Tight Bond or any of the other brands, how to do a finish on CA for an alternative finish. And that's not all. We're not done. We're not done. Some opinions like elbows. Everybody's got at least two of them, and we want to know what they are and how you can work for them.
That's all we need is for people to come forth and ask us a question, and we'll either tell you the answer now, or we'll get you the answer for it.
Yeah.
I have a comment to make about that. If we knew where someone was from that had a specific question, you might find a mentor out there in your area that could help you. You will learn a lot from a mentor. It could come to your shop or you go to his shop, and you will be able to discuss how to use a gouge or something similar to that, more so than you will find out here on a meeting, watching it on a video or something. So a mentor is a big help to you if they know where you live.
Great point, John. And really, you can't put your hands on a video.
You're right.
If you want me to show you how to use this tool, when I used to do lessons at my shop, I would always tell folks, if you come over here, I can show you how to use those tools, but I can't teach you art. Art's got to be right here. And that's a good point. If you find a mentor or a friend that you can talk to, in this world of FaceTime, you can do a lot with FaceTime with somebody one-on-one.
Yeah, and it takes practice. Once you learn it and someone shows you, you've got to practice it. That's how some of us have gotten to where we are now. It took a lot of practice and a lot of scrap wood. And I'll say scrap wood because it's scrap wood when you're finished with it.
Firewood.
Yes. I guess it is scrap wood.
Scrap wood still has a use. Firewood, no.
Yeah, if you call it scrap wood, John, I'm gonna sick Kim Tippin on you.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
She doesn't permit that scrap wood
long enough. If you keep on turning, you'll eventually get a toothpick, and then you got something useful.
There you go. I hadn't thought of that, but that's a good idea.
And if you don't realize it, everything we turn, we can give away. Somebody will want everything we turn. None of it goes to none of it has to go to the burn pile. At least not mine. All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate the input on that. That is a really great idea. The mentors getting together. That's where clubs come in. If the clubs create these programs, Ronnie, you and I went to the Fab Five up in well, it used to be the Fab Six up in Napoleonville or down Napoleonville.
Yeah.
That is a mentorship program.
What Eddie's talking about, they have a group of 5 guys and they get together once a week on a Thursday, and they have a great thing going. And they get there about 8 o'clock in the morning, and they don't leave till probably 5 o'clock that evening. And what they do is they design, and then they cut out the pieces, and then everyone goes home with the cut out pieces, and then you assemble a piece and then finish it on your own. So it's a great thing. It's really a great camaraderie between those guys, and they are exceptional turners. They are very, very talented. When it comes to segmented or stave work, I don't think there's anybody close to them.
That phone number you gave me, Ronnie, I called him the next day and he sent me 3 of his pictures. That's awesome.
Ain't it? You know, that's what it is. And you know, that's why I put you on him, because they are the people, you know, and they know what they are talking about. The man who heads up that group, he's got about 60 years in wood turning, and he used to teach wood turning at a high school. So the man knows what he's talking about. He's done it, and you know, he'll explain it to you.
Yeah, Mike was with us. Mike out of the team, Ronnie, was with us earlier. I don't see him in the pack right now, but we went there a couple of times. We enjoyed ourselves, and every time driving back it's about an hour and a half away from the house, driving back, making notes, one after the other, because we absorbed so much in that trip. And that's what a mentor program or a mini club meeting program does. Remember, it's not a hierarchy. It's not you don't have to have a great turner. All you need are turners. We all have opinions. We have ideas. Something I think is really great idea, you might tell me is dumb as rocks. So that's why we're talking about this. What do you want to see? Doug Smith's bailing out. He's got something to go do, but he's got a couple other things. We have some recommendations on a par fix and items. Remember, if you don't know this, folks, we are non-commercial. We don't have a website. We have a website. We don't have a purchase site. You can't buy anything from us. You don't pay us for anything. We don't pay our demonstrators. No money changes hands in this operation to keep it going. But if we don't have your thought power, if we don't have this from you, we're short. So that's why we have people like John Brown and Jim and Dane and Donald and Tom and all these other guys jumping in, because we're all sharing ideas.